Okay, so here's the deal. I really want to make this video and I really want to post it on Halloween, but I have to do it in one take because I don't have time to edit it because I'm taking an online course and I have a project due tonight and I didn't do it until, actually I still haven't done it. I have to do it tonight because it's about illnesses in children and I've been kind of putting that off because it gives me anxiety. So anyway, I'm going to try to film this right now and then upload it so I can post it on Halloween. So if I say something stupid, unfortunately, I cannot edit it out, so pray for me. So anyway, this has been going on. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. It's not even that interesting. If I was gonna make up a story, I'd make up a more interesting story. So anyway, this is gonna sound really stupid, but I kind of think that there's a ghost or spirit or demon in Parker's room. I don't know, I'm whispering that because he's right there, but like I don't think he understands. If you know me and you know Parker, when he's older and can talk and understand things, please don't tell him that I think there's a demon in his room, because then he'll never sleep again, and neither will I. So like, he thinks it's funny right now. You think it's funny? You think it's funny? I'm not insane. There's my son on the floor. And my dog in the background playing with a toy, and you're probably gonna hear that, and it's probably gonna be distracting, and I'm sorry. Jim! That's funny too. Okay, get into it, Montana. You have to do this one take. All right, so, a little bit of a backstory. We moved into this house last October. It's a little 50s bungalow, so it's all one floor and it's very tiny. And when we moved in, I was pregnant, so we knew that the second bedroom was going to be Parker's room, so we never used it for anything other than his stuff / a dumping ground for stuff that should have been put away or dealt with. It was basically like a storage unit. So no one was ever really in there, especially not at night, and yeah, like we didn't go in there other than to just dump things. Anyway, so Parker slept in my bed until he hit about 5 months, and then we decided to put him in his room in his crib. So up until this point, as I say, like, the baby monitor has been used. Okay, yeah, let me back up. The baby monitor was used in my bedroom, so it's not like the baby monitor hasn't been used until now. Like, I've been using the baby monitor since he was born, and nothing like this has ever happened in any other room. Like, we've taken it to my in-laws and used it there. We've used it in the living room. We've used it in our bedroom. We've used it many different places, and this has never happened. So if you want to say it's the monitor, I don't think it's the monitor. But anyway, so we put him in his crib and in his room, and we put the monitor in there. And since, like, I've had 3 instances where things have been strange, but the most strange was last night. But there was an instance when he was in his room, and like, I have the thing on max volume so that if I'm asleep it wakes me up, and I woke up and I could hear the child's laughter, so I thought Parker was awake and like laughing, kind of like he is right now, but it didn't really sound like his laugh. But anyway, I woke up and I'm hearing this laughter, and it's very clearly coming from the monitor, and we don't have any other children. So, and the TV wasn't on or anything like that. So I obviously pick up the monitor and look at it, and Parker is asleep, like asleep. He's not making any sound. He's not crying. He's not laughing. He's not doing anything. So like, that was weird, but I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, well, maybe he laughed in his sleep. And then a few nights later, I woke up to the sound of whistling on the monitor. And I thought my husband went in there and was whistling, but my husband doesn't whistle. I mean, I'm sure he can whistle, but he doesn't just walk around the house whistling, you know? So like even that was kind of odd. Also, him getting up and going into the baby's room in itself is odd. Like even if the baby was screaming at the top of his lungs, my husband wouldn't go in there. So the fact that there was whistling coming from Parker's room was really weird. And my husband sleeps not in bed with me, he sleeps on the couch, which it's okay, we're not getting divorced. It's actually really nice, but that's a side story. But anyway, so I didn't know that, you know, obviously if he was in bed with me, I could just look over and be like, oh, it's not my husband in there. So I just thought he was in there whistling. Anyway, he was not. He was not him. I went in the room and there was no one in the room. Jim? There was no one in the room, and I asked my husband about it in the morning, like, were you whistling? No. So that was weird. And then there was another, I guess there's been 4 instances. Then there was another instance where I was looking at the monitor. I wasn't asleep yet, so I was just checking on him on the monitor. Hi. And I was looking at him, and I can't really hear him breathing on the monitor, so I look for his chest rising and falling. So I'm staring at this screen, and all of a sudden, so I'm looking at him one way, like I can see his head and his chest in the frame, and I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden it turns, it turns, so now I can only see his feet and like his mobile or something. And so I'm like, okay, the only way that the picture on the screen can change is if you physically move the camera in his room, which is out of his reach. It's like, it's not mounted, it is just resting, but it's got little like sticky things on the bottom, so it doesn't, like, you would have to move it, okay? Like, it's not gonna, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You have to move it with your hands. Anyway, so it rests on, like, what the hell am I trying to say? It rests on the side of his crib, and the picture of it shifted, and so now I can only see his feet and his mobile, and I was watching it, so I know he wasn't awake. Like, there's no possible way he somehow stood up, which he can't even sit up, but there's no way he like stood up, grabbed his thing, and turned it like I was watching. So that was really weird, and I'm staring at it, and I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I guess I'm gonna go in there and fix it. And right when I'm about to go do that, like, I'm still looking at the screen, all of a sudden it goes, oh, sorry, I have to mention, this was actually, I forgot, but this was actually during the day. He was taking a nap, so it wasn't in night vision. It was just in regular color, so I was looking at him in color, and it doesn't have a black and white mode, it's just color or night vision. So I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden it goes black and white, like not night vision, because you can tell the difference. It just went like black and white, and then it was doing this like fuzzy weird sound. Like, I don't know what that means. And then when it stopped, like, it stopped being black and white, it stopped being fuzzy, it went back to color, and it went back to the original position that it was in, where I could see his face and his chest. So that was super weird. So I went in there, obviously, and made sure that his monitor was fine, and like, he was still asleep, the monitor was still fine, nothing had changed about that. So once again, pretty freaking weird. And I told my husband about it, and he started getting really freaked out, and he's like, oh, he can't sleep in there, blah, 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 like, there's a demon in there, he can't sleep in there. And I kind of said, oops, just kicked my camera. I kind of said to my husband, like, honestly, as long as the ghost doesn't wake up Parker, and Parker's still sleeping. Like, you know, like, I'm not gonna take him out of the room. He's asleep. It's all good. Like, I'm not gonna disturb everybody's sleep just because there may or may not be some sort of poltergeist in the baby monitor. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, time passes, and oh yeah, so last night, this was the other event. So this is what really took me over the edge. This was where I was like, okay, this is too weird. So last night I'm asleep, and I sleep with the baby monitor literally in my hand like this, like by my ear, because I'm psycho and I have anxiety. So I like sleep like this and on max volume. So any little sound, like you could go in the room and be like, hey, like you could whisper and I would jolt awake because it's literally that loud. Okay, one sec, he wants to join me. Come here. Can I get you out of there? Come here. Okay, I wish I could edit that out, but I cannot, so I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry for that lag in the story, but okay. So, last night, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm sleeping with the monitor like that, and all of a sudden, I hear a sound. Now, to be honest with you, I don't remember what the sound was because I was still half asleep at that point. I just know that a sound woke me up. And so I'm looking at the monitor. I'm assuming he made the sound. I'm assuming he's crying or he's just awake. But I look at him and he's not awake. He's really, really in a deep sleep. So I'm confused, right? And then I do my usual like helicopter mom thing where I do the zoom in function on the monitor to look at his chest close up so I could like stare at it and make sure he's breathing. So I did that. So I zoomed in and I'm staring at his chest, making sure that he's breathing. And when I'm doing this is the part where it's gonna sound like I'm really making things up, and I swear to God I'm not. This black, shadowy figure, like, I don't even know, like this black shadowy figure came across Parker's chest and was just like, yeah, it was just like across his chest, and I'm staring at it and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I put my glasses on to make sure I'm seeing things right, and I'm sitting up in bed, and I'm like looking with one eye and I'm looking with the other eye, I'm looking with two eyes, like really trying to make sure that I'm not just sleeping and like out of it and don't have my glasses on and I'm making things up. But no, it was there. And so then I thought, okay, well maybe it's the pixels, or maybe it's like just because I'm zoomed in so weird. So I zoom out to the regular view, and clear as day on the regular view, I can see this dark shadow figure across Parker's chest, almost as if somebody was standing over the crib, kind of. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, and I know it's not my husband, because once again, he wouldn't even go in there if Parker was screaming, so he's not gonna go in there when Parker's asleep, and he's not gonna go in there at like 3 in the morning, you know? So I'm like, okay, that's really weird. So I'm about to go in there and be like, okay, what's up? I'm about to go in there, and then as I'm still looking at the thing, and the shadowy figure thing moved, like it moved across his body and then like up across the backboard of the crib, and then up like where Parker's mobile hangs, and then just disappeared. And as it did that, it turned like a greeny color instead of black. And this is the part that really weirds me out. Like, this is the part that makes me think like there's just no way it was weird pixelation on the screen, is because when it did that, Parker's mobile started moving, but not like oh, it was moving like someone wound it up. Like it just moved like somebody knocked it. And side note, all the windows in his room are shut. So there's no draft, there's no, actually I'm pretty sure all the windows in the house are shut. So there was no way with wind. Yeah, so that freaked me out. So I went in there. Oh, and yeah, I was gonna say, there was also no music from the mobile, so like I really know that it wasn't wound up. So I go in there and everything was fine. Like, I didn't see anything or notice anything. Parker was still asleep. My husband was still asleep on the couch, so... yeah. So, that's my story. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like... As I say, we've never had an issue with this monitor anywhere else. I thought maybe, at first with the sounds, like the laughter and stuff, I thought, okay, maybe we're picking up someone else's monitor near us, but like, we live in Sydney with all the elderly people. I don't even think there is any other babies near us. And also then that doesn't explain the pixelation. So, yeah. Happy Halloween. I hope I post this on actual Halloween. If I didn't, you know that I failed. But I did try. And yeah, so I swear I'm not making this up. And I'm not like one of those people that really believes in ghosts or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to see a ghost. Like, I don't even want to say it is a ghost. I don't even like using the word ghost. It's probably not, but like, I'm just saying it's weird. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not saying it is a ghost, but I'm also not saying that it's not a ghost. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye.